I can see something in your future. You're going to watch a video giving you 19 reasons to watch The Dead Zone. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave Musson, at Dave Musson on Instagram, and this is the place, I said Instagram weirdly there, didn't I? On Instagram. And this is the place where I talk to you about Stephen King. I've lost my trail of thought, but let's pick it up anyway. In this video, I'm going to give you 19 reasons to watch the 1983 movie of The Dead Zone, directed by David Cronenberg, based on the 1979 novel of the same name by Stephen King, my all-time favourite Stephen King book. If you want to see my 19 reasons to read this book, hit the link up there and you will find it. Otherwise, we'll get onto the movie in a moment, but there's a couple of things I want to plug for you, first of all. Now, once you're done watching this video, please go and check out season 1 of the Constant Writers podcast, which I put out a few weeks ago. It's me talking to indie horror authors about them, their work, and their relationship with and to Stephen King. It's really, really great. Season 1 finale is with Bev Vinson, who has worked with Stephen King and is friends with Stephen King, and there's some terrific upcoming talent in there for you to enjoy as well. So do go and check that out. There's a playlist up there which you can watch them here on YouTube, or you can listen wherever you get your podcasts. If you like indie horror author recommendations, then hit the link in the description, sign up to my newsletter, and you'll get an indie horror author recommendation in your inbox every week. You'll also get a short story from me, and talking short stories from me, you'll get my mini collection Mirrored plus 10 Tiny Tales of Terror for free just for signing up as a thank you. So there you go. You could even sign up, grab the book, and then unsubscribe. That'd make me sad, but hey, if you read the book, I suppose I don't mind. Talking books, I wrote the Ultimate Stephen King quiz book. I published it last year. You can pick it up on Amazon and Barnes & Noble right now. Please do. It's really good. You can do Stephen King trivia whenever you feel like it. Okay, we're going to go into 19 reasons to watch The Dead Zone, and as I try to do with these videos, I will cluster any spoilery reasons towards the end, and I'll give you a warning before they come. So whether you've watched the movie or not, you can stick with us right away, and if you need to bail later on, you can bail after that. Now, at the time of recording, it didn't appear that this movie was streaming anywhere, or at least not in the UK. I watched it from my DVD, but you can buy or rent it from a bunch of places, including YouTube, Amazon, and Apple TV as well. So you need to track that one down. Hopefully that helps you looking in the right place. And of course, it might well be streaming in your territory. I don't have time to check out the entire world, sorry. Anyway, enough preamble. Here are 19 reasons to watch the 1983 David Cronenberg version of The Dead Zone. So, are you just here for one reason? I mean, fine, bit rude, but anyway, here we go. This is David fucking Cronenberg doing Stephen fucking King. I mean, come on, sign me up, right? It's cold, it's chilling, it has some slices of gruesome body horror, and it's fucking excellent. Now, the first version of the screenplay for this was actually written by King, but that version was turned down by David Cronenberg, who wasn't really happy with it. Instead, we got Jeffrey Boehm, who would go on to do The Lost Boys, who actually did the job and did it brilliantly. We really knuckle down on the drama, we really get inside Johnny's head, but he also brings in the ultimate time traveler dilemma. Would you kill Hitler?
Oh, you mean the one about Hitler?
It's a really smart move, bringing that to the fore of this movie, because it really helps drive a lot of the action. Now, although this one is set in Maine, it was actually filmed in Ontario, Canada. Although, at least to my eyes, it still looks very New Englandy, and there's some great locations. I want to walk through that tunnel. So talking locations, that gazebo where some murders take place, and it's not spoiling things to say that some murders take place, but that gazebo, the scene of the grisly crime, that was donated to the town of Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, which is where it was filmed, and it's now used as a spot for wedding photos? Sure. Before I get into the excellent cast, I just want to shout out Michael Kamen and his equally excellent score for this movie. It is so good, so haunting, and so perfect. And apparently, he was in London when he was working on this, and apparently he would have the people in the apartment next to him knocking on his doors saying, "Please stop playing that music. Me and my family are trying to sleep. You are giving me nightmares." Perfect. Perfect, right? Okay, let's go on to the cast, and I'm going to shake the order up a little bit, starting off with Martin Sheen as the wildly dangerous and terrifying politician Greg Stilson. He captures the role perfectly, and he does it in that way that I think is the most scary thing about Stilson. You look at Martin Sheen in this, and you can imagine hundreds of people would absolutely vote for him. He's got this snake oil salesman smile and shark's dead eyes at the same time. It is chilling, and he does a brilliant job. Second, Brooke Adams as Sarah. I mean, insert heart eyes emoji here. She is beautiful, and she is just wonderful. She's a heartbroken heartbreaker. Yeah, I came up with that myself. I'm pretty pleased with it. Okay, the main man, Christopher fucking Walken as Johnny Smith. Now, on paper, this shouldn't work. I mean, he's Johnny Smith. He should be just the everyman, and Christopher Walken is so unique that he really shouldn't be able to pull this off, and yet he does. He is so good as Johnny. His angular, characterful face, his cool 80s hair, his arresting and instantly recognizable style of talking, and of course his huge fucking collar on his coat.
Nothing.
All so iconic, all wonderful. So fun fact for you around the scenes where Johnny is in his trances and he's twitching. Now apparently off camera, director David Cronenberg would fire a gun, just firing blanks at random to make Johnny twitch and jump. And apparently this is something that was Christopher Walken's own idea as well, and I think it works really, really well. As it happens, Christopher Walken wasn't the first choice for Johnny. Stephen King thought it should have been Bill Murray, and David Cronenberg thought it should have been Nicholas Campbell, who actually ends up playing Frank Dodd in this. But of course, you only need to watch part of this movie to realise that the correct choice was ultimately made. So lastly, before spoilers, and this is me trying to be as objective as possible because this is an adaptation of my favourite King book and it is one of my favourite King movies, but I think that certainly at this point in the chronology, this is right up there in terms of being one of the best King adaptations. I definitely put it level with Carrie from Brian De Palma, and I'd possibly put it ever so slightly ahead. I'd possibly have this at this point as the best Stephen King adaptation. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Okay, the next few reasons we're going to be talking about similarities and differences from the book. I'm going to be picking out favourite scenes, favourite lines, Easter eggs, connections, all of those kind of things. What I'm saying is there's a potential to spoil some stuff for you here if you haven't seen the movie yet. So consider this your spoiler alert, and if you need to leave now, please do and come back soon. Travel safe, all of that kind of stuff. But otherwise, stick around because I've got a few more reasons for you to watch The Dead Zone. Now this one does stay fairly close to the book. There's a few things that are tweaked and chopped and merged and deleted, but generally we get the key beats from the story coming through the movie, which is impressive because there's quite a few strands going through this. So to get all of that into the movie and for it to all make sense, which doesn't always work when you transition to screen, just shows how good a job they did with this movie. One scene that I find particularly iconic from the book that didn't make the cut is Greg Stilson kicking the dog to death, but hey, I guess we don't really need to see that, do we? A slight change from the book is that the child that Stilson holds up to shield himself from Johnny's bullets is actually Sarah's child in the movie, which is kind of a little cheesy, but it also works. I mean, it doesn't bother me. Also, the way Frank Dodd offs himself in the movie is different. It's way more Cronenberg. It's grisly, yeah, it's grim. It's also quite baffling. Like, how do you actually do that to yourself? By the way, the little details in Dodd's bedroom, where he's got that childlike wallpaper on his walls, yeah, creepy, right? Okay, favourite lines. I mean, you know which one I'm going to pick, right? I mean, it's the one about the ice, obviously.
The ice is gonna break!
As for favourite scenes, it's a tough one. There's so many iconic shots and moments in this, but I think the best scene as a whole is kind of like the book, actually. It's the one where Johnny and Sarah finally make love after all of the years where they should have been doing that and it was taken away from them. It's so tenderly and perfectly done. it's just really well treated, and it's a great moment.
You said some things were worth waiting for. Well, haven't we waited long enough?
So no real Easter eggs in this, but a few connections to speak of. So we have Tom Skerritt as Sheriff George Bannerman, and Ken Pogue, who plays the Vice President, and both of those would go on to feature in the TV series of The Dead Zone from the early noughts. Aside from that, Brooke Adams would later be in Sometimes They Come Back, and Martin Sheen was also in Firestarter. And of course, Christopher Walken was in Wayne's World 2, which I know is not a Stephen King film, but I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to mention the second best movie of all time. Lastly, I'm going to bring it back to Christopher Walken, who, in a sea of amazing actors doing amazing performances, he still does his thing and stands out. But sure, he's not as scary or intimidating as he is in, say, Pulp Fiction or even Wayne's World 2. But God, he's so good in this. You want him to succeed. You want things to go right for him, and it's devastating when that doesn't happen. For all that this movie is scary and thrilling and compelling, it's also got so much heart. And fuck, I mean, it's great. And Christopher Walken is a huge part of that.
Pretty good, huh?
Okay, there we go. 19 reasons to watch The Dead Zone. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think it's quite a wonderful, wonderful movie. And hey, I might just go and watch it again right now, because why the fuck not? Before I do that, a few things to plug. Do check out the Constant Writers podcast. You'll love it. It's me talking to indie horror authors about Stephen King and about their work. You'll get an insight into other Stephen King fans' ways of thinking, and you'll get some cool new shit to go and read, and you'll really enjoy it, I promise. Also, something you'll really enjoy reading, you sign up for it, is my weekly newsletter. Just hit the link in the description. You get short stories from me, you get indie horror author recommendations from me, and you get my mini collection, Mirrored plus 10 Tiny Tales of Terror, for free as an ebook just for signing up. And of course, if you've got a bit of spare pocket money, why not pick up the Ultimate Stephen King quiz book? More than 3,000 trivia questions on Stephen King, all written by me, available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon. Links are in the description. And if you want to come and say hi on Instagram, said it correctly this time, I'm at Dave Musson. How you doing? Come say hi. Next up, we're pausing on the popcorn to go into this month's book special. And it's one you've helped me create. So, well, you might personally not have. I guess it depends if you responded to a weird little call I put on my social media about a month ago. But anyway, it's a fun one. Come back for that soon, okay? Bye-bye.